My name is Steve Buckley, and I'm from Massachusetts. I came to work in the Washington area for the federal government after college, and spent 25 years in Washington working for different federal agencies as an environmental engineer. And what I came to understand was that in the environmental area, there was the public engagement aspect to involving the public in projects that affect their lives. You can't just build a bridge without letting people know that you're thinking about doing it and so forth. And I came to see that it wasn't the engineering or the environmental science involved in environmental impact reports that were the weak link. The weakest link was the involving the public in it, the human factor, not the science, the human factor. And the idea that being that, well, we definitely need to improve group collaboration. So I come to see myself not so much, I am an engineer, but I say that I think I'll focus on the collaboration part of it. The environmental part is, in engineering aspects, that's not a barrier. We can do anything we want. Engineers can do anything you want if you give them enough money. And I suppose if you gave enough people enough money, they'd collaborate in a nice way too. You're not going to get paid unless you're nice. That's something to think about. But I don't think there's enough money for that, because we'd just be paying ourselves. 20 years ago, when I was working for the government, I saw the internet and technology as a very good enabler to allow people to find out about the projects that would affect their lives, like the bridge that they take on the way to work, to commute to their job or something like that. They need to find about that planning opportunity before they make a final decision on where the bridge should be, how many lanes, things like that, if you're a user of that road, you know a lot that the planners don't know about, because you're there using that road. You know where the bottlenecks are and whether there should be a sidewalk or not, things like that. So anyway, I got real excited. This is 20 years ago, and I thought it would have come along a lot further. I thought it would take maybe 5 or 10 years before everybody would be collaborative, being more engaged in their government, because now they know. But it had to go through, I think, different phases. Everybody had to get online. That was, of course, the main thing. Now I would say that it's everybody understands that almost everybody has an email address. Even, grandparents have that. And so now the trick, of course, the technology is not holding us back. Now we have to learn how to talk with each other and not talk at each other, and be a little more serious about that. And so with open government metrics, it's like, well, what are those measures, those properties that we can measure, so that if something's a good collaboration or a better collaboration, and how do we gauge that? A lot of times, even the White House, which has an open government initiative, they say they're in favor of collaboration, but at the same time, then I'll say this, they pick the people who they think will be the best, as opposed to opening it up to everyone. The idea, we should open this up because you never know where good ideas come from. But if we're going to have a meeting, I want you, and you to come, and the rest of you can stay home, we'll figure this out. And you're going, wait a minute, there's a problem with that. So the president, on day one of his administration, first thing he signed was the open government memorandum, telling federal agencies he wanted them to be more transparent, participatory, and collaborative. And then it kind of goes down through the bureaucracy. I understand how these things go, then somebody else writes and makes it a little more clear about how high they want people to jump and where they want people to jump and how often they want people to jump and stuff like that. But it's been a little nebulous. They haven't really gotten down to, now by participation, I mean this, versus collaboration. So the bureaucrats are a little mixed up, because they kind of go, well, is participation different than collaboration? And it's been 3 years and they haven't, so it's kind of like, okay, well, if you're not going to make it clear about, how those is one part of the other, is it a subset? like I said, bureaucrats just want to know, just tell me what to do. And tell me how I'll be judged. Unfortunately, I think that's what's happened, is the rhetoric. It's kind of like everybody's pretending they know what it means. And so you come to a conference and they're like, yeah, we need that stuff. And but it's like, well, were you talking about the same stuff or slightly different stuff? Congressman Issa is getting more into the transparency area. So I will give credit to him for at least, whether they're doing this for good reasons or, idealistic or realistic. But it's hard to, there aren't people who come out as anti-transparency. Everybody, you've seen that, it becomes a buzzword though, that's the problem. Oh yeah, I'm in favor of transparency, can't prove he's not. And so 3 years later, the White House is still using things like Twitter. So you have like 100,000 people on Twitter, and they'll go, oh, that was great public engagement. Well, it's like, yeah, it's a mile wide, but it's only like, the collaboration was like this deep. And if you go, actually, if you want to see an agency's open government plan, you can start out by going to whitehouse.gov/open. Easy to remember. And if that's kind of the master page. But you can also go to a particular agency, so it could be epa.gov/open. Every federal agency has that, and it'll show you there how they're doing it. Now, a lot of those plans are kind of like, I understand, having worked there, that they take the buzzwords, they repackage the buzzwords, and they say, I think this is what they want to hear. This is what the White House wants to hear. Blah, blah, transparency, blah, blah, collaboration, so forth and so on. And so it's kind of, I understand that they're like, well, I don't know what they want, but I'll just feed it back to them. And so in that sense, I'm a little frustrated that it doesn't really, but I would say EPA has a better, NASA, and HHS, they're doing a little better. The thing is, but what all those plans seem to be missing is metrics. They will, the common thing is, well, we're going to measure it by the number of visitors to our website. Which is okay, but that's it. The number of visitors to your website went up, 2%, so you must be doing something right. Or maybe it just went up 2% because, nothing. Or they say, you could say, oh, they spent more time on our website. Well, that could be, or it could be they spent more time on the website because they're confused and lost. So we want to know, yeah, people are visiting your website, yay, but are they actually satisfied with what they're doing? Are they getting do they feel like they're part of their government, that they can, the website engage them and provide them a way to be part of what's going on? And the only way you can do that is if you ask them, as opposed to guessing. But now they've reached the point where they are casting about and they're going, yes, we really need to go, we need to get some benchmarks here. We don't know how we're going to measure our progress. And so this is a very good time for anybody who wants to come up with, to join the conversation. And if they go to opengovmetrics.com, that goes right to a discussion. And so it's open. I'm not picking the experts because I don't know where the ideas are going to come from.